We could not have our experience of life without time, so time must be real. What if I tell you that it is not necessary so? If we want to seriously talk about the nature of our existence, we must first talk about one of the greatest illusions of what we call our life on this earth. And this illusion is time. And time is one of the greatest illusions for two reasons. One is that is intrinsically binded into our existence, because our existence is a sequence of events. A sequence of events that is time. The other reason is that we define ourselves in time, because we define ourselves with our name that was given to us in the past. We define ourselves with the school we went to in the past, with work we've done in the past. Everything that brought us here, everything that happened to us that make us who we are, happened in the past. So how can then time be an illusion if the past is real? But how real is really the past? Because we have to know that all the past we ever thought about, we've done that in the present. We can only remember stuff in the present moment. So we have again two problems. When we are talking about the past, what past are we talking about? The past we remember in this moment, or in this moment, or in this moment, or in this moment? Or are we talking about the past that we are remembering in this moment? So, is present something instantaneous that is happening now and now and now and now, or is present something that is always present, so it's happening all the time? But that is not the only problem we have. The other one is that we are always remembering the past in the present moment based on the current amount of information that we have. And that amount of information is not constant. We are always forgetting stuff. So when we construct the past, we, through time, leave out stuff. And sometimes, usually unintentionally, we sometimes add stuff. So our past is constantly changing. And usually that change is not so dramatical. But what if we hit our head? What if we forget almost everything about our past? Are we still the same person? If we only remember 10%, does that mean that we are only 10% of the person we used to be? Of course not. But we rely on our past entirely to know who we are, but Our past is not reliable at all. And then there is another imposter. That's the future. We humans are very much preoccupied with our future. But the future does not exist yet. The future is something that will happen, but what will happen will be in a future present. But if we only live in a future and in the past, we don't live in the present. That's something a lot of people talk about. That humans don't know how to live in the present. Because everything in our day-to-day existence is telling us that time is a constant. Time is a linear thing that goes from the past into the future in a constant rate, at a constant rate, and that's how it always was. But that's not always true, because even our scientists know that when we approach the speed of light, the time slows down. But even simple people know that if you wait for something, the time slows down. Okay, the scientist will tell that it is our perception of time that slows down. Actually, the time remains a constant. Okay, but when we start to question the nature of our reality, when we don't believe blindly that this is a physical world, we can question time in a different way. For example, when you have a computer game and the game is pre-programmed and you are playing that pre-programmed game, time sequences are pre-programmed, are there before you start to play. And then when you play, your interaction with the game is recorded. Let's say that the game has this functionality, or at least you have the possibility to save your state at wanted times. So the game was pre-programmed with time, then you added your interaction in time and you save it, and now you can access all that instances in time, but you are doing it at your computer at this moment. There is no linear time in a computer game. There are just instances in a sequence of events. That's because you are separated from the computer game. You have a computer in front of you. You are not a part of the game. You have an illusion of being a part of the game while you are playing. What if life is the same? What if you are just playing this life? What if this existence is quote-unquote pre-programmed with time? And what if you are interacting with it? How would you interact with it? You would interact now and now and now and now, and you could go back and you would interact again with the same game at the same time in the past. Personally, I think that this is how we can explain déjà vu. It's a part of the game we played more than once, and for some reason we remember. It's not that we know what will happen in the future, or that we know that this happened before. It's that we remember because we were playing the same game many times. So from the point of view of the one that is playing the game of life, the time is a totally different matter. It's not something linear. Yes, linear is a sequence of events, but it's not something. The past or the future for such a player are not an unreachable things. They're just another dimension. Like we are living in a three dimensions, in a three-dimensional space. Well, for me that's not true even for our understanding, for our current understanding of reality, because a three-dimensional thing is a statue. I'm moving right now, so I'm living in four dimensions. And for someone who is playing the game of life, time is just the fourth dimension, and he can move forward and backward in time. Time is for him something not completely different that it is for us, but it's something very different that it is for us. Here I was talking about a computer game because nowadays an example with a computer game can be understood by most people. But I prefer an analogy with our dreams, because our dreams are also fascinating. We know that the amount of time we dream is not equal to the amount of time that passes within a dream. That's fascinating. Now imagine that you are an entity that dreams, an entity that exists where there is no space and no time. So you are dreaming all the dreams you will ever dream, and you are doing it now. If that would be true, then what a lot of near-death experiencers experience, that is that they were able, when they were not alive, they were able to be anywhere, anytime, at the same time. Well, it would make a lot of sense. My friend, when we realize that the time is just an illusion, and I don't mean mentally realize, I mean when we feel it, when we embody this understanding, then the time starts to run differently for us. And this world becomes even more magical.